Housing security in the U.S. since the pandemic is on track to become a crisis, and Black women are being affected the most by it. According to Eviction Lab, there were more than 434,000 evictions last year. So for some context to this, the eviction moratorium was in place for a large portion of the year, but the number of renters at risk of eviction as of January spiked to about 3 million and counting. And of those, Black women have the highest average of eviction filed against them at 6.2%, compared to white women at 3.4%. Now, that equates to 1 in 4 Black renters living in a place where Black eviction filing rates were almost double than that of their white counterparts. So joining us now is Akira Drake Rodriguez. She's an assistant professor of city and regional planning at the Stuart Weitzman School of Design at the University of Pennsylvania. She's also the author of Diverging Space for Deviance, the Politics of Atlanta's Public Housing. Professor Drake, great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. So can you give us an idea of why evictions are so high for Black women specifically and the short and long-term impact it's having on them and their families?
Sure. So Black women traditionally are tasked with a lot of the caretaking roles of both their immediate family, but also their extended family. And so what you're more likely to see is that these are the women who are going to be having to take in cousins, having to take in people who are experiencing their own economic precarity or housing precarity, in addition to their own families. As sort of the head caretakers, you also see that they're more likely to make these sorts of sacrifices. So you see Black women, and all women actually, but Black women in particular, because they have kind of less opportunity and less access, more likely to stay, for example, in substandard housing or expensive housing if it means that their child has access to a good school or they have access to a job opportunity. And so you kind of create these sort of cascading problems and issues when it comes to evictions, and that they are more likely to lose their job. They are more likely to have to travel further for work, increasing their economic precarity, and more likely to be the caretaker and taking on a lot of additional families into their household. So getting this eviction is this very sort of permanent stain on their record. It impacts their credit. It impacts their ability to find more housing. A lot of these Black women are more likely to experience bouts of homelessness as a result of these evictions. Their credit is less likely to remain intact after having some of these housing issues. So it's really, when we talk about intersectionality, it really is a prime example of how intersectionality works, right? They are less likely to be employed. They are making lower wages. They are in these substandard housing units. And these impacts are huge. As you can see, the psychological trauma, the difficulty, and, imagine getting turned down for housing opportunity after housing opportunity, economic opportunity. It can really, really start to have an impact on their mental health as well.
Sure, and their families as well, because I imagine they are also more likely to have children in tow, correct?
For sure. Yes, this is a very difficult problem.
So, Professor, according to that report by Eviction Lab that we talked about earlier, women in general are evicted more than men. So how do you think the Department of Housing and Urban Development could be, addressing this issue, especially for Black women, but for women in general?
I think it's really important to know about these causes of higher rates of eviction and really thinking about the full package that is required to house someone. It is not just the provision of a voucher. It's not just the provision of a subsidy. It is not just the provision of a single unit. It really is this sort of bundle of care, of transportation, of mental health supports, of physical health supports, the ability to have flexible housing. So often you are allotted housing based on the number of dependents you have, and people can wait on very long waiting lists, and suddenly the housing they're allotted is pretty much obsolete to their needs. So having responsive, flexible housing, having the wraparound services, which HUD does, they do a lot of social service wraparound support, but it needs to be so much more, particularly as the department does much more with vouchers and mobility solutions that place people out of their kinship networks and place people out of where they have their home base and their sort of support network. Those are the things that really make housing a home. And I think the more that HUD sort of understands that full bundle of what is needed to house someone properly, that will help with the solutions.
And Professor, what advice do you have for anyone who may be watching right now and facing eviction and not sure what to do? What resources could you point them to?
Definitely look into your local tenant association, look into your local fair housing center so they can provide you with the legal advice that is needed and connect you with the services and support that is available. There has been usually, if you kind of look into the eviction subsidies and moratoriums, there were usually nonprofits that were allocated and tasked with that. And there was a lot of capacity and institution building around sort of eviction prevention. And so definitely mobilizing and organizing, I think, is really critical. I think a lot of people feel alone in these and embarrassed about being evicted. And being in tenant associations, working with these resources and networks that were established when so many were facing eviction and before that foreclosure, I think is really important, again, with that mental health and that weathering that occurs. So really sort of being in community with others is really important at this time.
All right, Professor Akira Drake Rodriguez, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you so much.